Hi, my name is Khloe Janelle, and I just want to take a few minutes before I get into my piece to say the names of Black and brown trans women that have been murdered. I think it is very important to keep their names alive and to continue to try to seek justice for them. So let's just take a few minutes and say their names and honor them. Monica Diamond, Lexi Ebony Sutton, Nina Pop, Tony McDade, Dominique Remy Fells, Raya Milton, Brian Egypt Powers, Brayla Stone, Mercy Mack, Bree Black, Dior H. Ova, Key Sam, Arian Burnett, Mia Green, Felicia Harris, Brooklyn Deshauna Smith, Marilyn Cazares, Shaky Peters, Aja Raquel Roan Spears, Alexa Negron Luciano, Paris Cameron. I feel stuck in a maze, trapped between a rock and a hard place like rats in a sewer, or that one time I saw a stray cat alone, meowing down an abandoned street, and I wasn't fazed at all. In fact, I didn't skip a beat. Actually, I stayed just long enough to give them a name. And yes, they use they, them pronouns because what is gender anyway? I named them Bubbles and said a prayer for them on my way to the bus stop in hopes that they'd pray for me as well, because Lord knows I need it. You see, my favorite cartoon as a kid was the Powerpuff Girls, because I understood what it meant to be a child and a savior at the same time in a world where I myself needed protection. And as much as I wanted to be Bubbles, given space for softness and mistakes, I always felt like Buttercup inside, down for the cause because I have no choice but to be ready for whatever and prepared for the worst, because in what world can a Black child experience softness without trauma? Still, through time, age, and pressure, I became the blossom of the group, the one holding it together for not only myself, but everyone else, offering advice I can barely take myself half the time. Who said that I have to know everything by 18 years old when I still know nothing but harsh realities at 24? I like to know. I have a few words for them. Sometimes words feel like a game of Scrabble in my head, learning things I should have learned in school, unlearning inherited patterns and coping mechanisms that no longer serve me and my family. On the bright side, my sadness now sits as a distant relative, an accomplishment I keep to myself for the most part. And we don't talk as much as we used to, but when we do, they remind me to never forget where I came from and that the past can be the past if I let it. So, in honor of trying to let go, this is a poem full of thoughts and questions I never seem to get the answer to when I ask, like why did you love my dad? Who was I before 1996? Where did I come from? Who were you before 2020? And why does it feel like the world is going in a constant loop? And why does it feel like no one cares? That's a poem for another time. Anyway, while you chose to stay the same, hiding in your own comfort, I saw Bubbles the other day again on my way to the bus stop, and they asked about you, and I shed a tear for the both of us since I knew you never would. And they followed me all the way home in hopes of a new beginning because their neighbors just wouldn't let them be. And me, being me, took them home, hope sitting heavy on my chest, a distraction disguised as a new project. And my roommate, being my roommate, looked at me with strong eyes as I walked through the door and said yes, with no questions asked, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm learning to let people do for me now. That's the end.